Hey everybody, I just want to talk to you about a little something I've been digesting, and really it's about the topic of worship and what that looks like. I was reading John chapter 4, verse 23 through 24, and I'll go ahead and read that. It says, "But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth." I was reading that New King James Version. So what it says, worship in spirit and truth, what does that mean? Well, to me, worshiping the spirit, it's not something that's an outward expression, it's inward. And that can mean so many different things. When we're worshiping inwardly, it's with everything that we have. It's giving all reverence to God, and everything that we believe, the things that we wouldn't give to anybody else, and we're worshiping inwardly with our spirit. And what does truth look like? Well, to me, it's something about like when we ask the question, well, how was service? How was worship today? The real question is, well, how did God see that worship? What was God's opinion on the service today? And that's a big one. And we're so focused on the outward appearance in so many of these church services, and how we worship and what we look like, and what's the person doing next to me, or how do I look to the people around me, instead of worshiping inwardly and forgetting everything around you, what that looks like. We're so focused on how we look to other people, and that's not where we should be focused on. We need to be focused inwardly, what God thinks of what we look like. Are we worshiping out of selfish needs, or are we doing it for something that is to please God? And so I also want to point out to John 4, verse 23, where it says God is seeking worshipers. He's seeking. Nowhere else in the Bible does it talk about where God is seeking anything else. Nowhere else in there does it say anything about God seeking his people in these areas. He is seeking worshipers. That's a big deal. That means that worship is probably one of the most important things that we could do here on this earth. Worship it just overpasses everything. And how we do that should be inwardly, in spirit and truth. Spirit and truth. So let's make worship the priority of our life, because that's what's important. Worship is important. It's one of the most important things, I think, other than giving your life to Christ and being obedient. That is worship. It's a priority. Do we worship the way that God desires, or do we worship the way that we desire? Are we worshiping out of our flesh, or are we worshiping in spirit and truth? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. Anyways, I'm going to worship in spirit and truth. I'm going to work on worshiping inwardly, and worshiping in a way that God desires me to worship. And I'm not going to worry about anybody else around me or what I look like to anybody else. I don't care. I'm going to keep it biblical. I'm going to keep it scriptural, and I'm going to do it the way God is calling me to worship, because that's who he's seeking. He's seeking worshipers. Love y'all.